So now I want to talk for a moment about what we are doing at the State Library. Winston Churchill said that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, whereas an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. At the State Library, we are optimists. We believe that in times of economic crisis, you cannot, in truth, do more with less. But you can do less with less, and you can do it very well, thank you, by clearly defining your core mission and focusing on providing those essential programs and services effectively. One example I've heard that I like is that a lot of public libraries have greatly reduced their book budgets. There are not as many new books on the shelves. So they're going into their stacks and they're pulling out the classics, and they're creating wonderful displays of classic literature, and they're circulating like hotcakes. You can also do different with less, using this economic crisis as an opportunity to retool, repurpose, and reimagine the way you do business. We've actually reduced our Braille library at the North Carolina Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. We were paying $30,000 a year to rent an annex to our library building, our LBPH building, and our budget was cut to the point we couldn't afford that anymore. What are we going to do? We're going to do the same thing differently. We kept the last 2 years, the most recent volumes of our Braille books, and any of the others that were very popular and that frequently circulated. The rest we have dispersed to other libraries for the blind, and we have an agreement with the Perkins Library for the Blind in Massachusetts that if any one of our 12,000 readers, well, they're not 12,000 blind readers, but they're 12,000 members of the Library for the Blind, want a Braille book that we no longer have on our shelves, we simply borrow it from the Perkins Library. They send it directly to the user. Maybe it'll take 1 day longer. The same service, but doing it differently and saving $30,000 a year. So we do believe you can do different with less, and sometimes you can even do better with less, because you can take this crisis, or any crisis, as an opportunity to redefine and update your mission, to create innovative programs using new technologies, so you're not spending all your time reading book reviews and ordering books. You know, get online and learn how to use Twitter and create a whole new service for teens. And to enhance customer service and outreach to new audiences. So we at the State Library are also looking for new ways to carry out our programs in trying times. In the current budget year, we lost 7 state-funded positions, and we have suffered a 30% reduction in our program budget. Nevertheless, using our philosophy of less, different, and better, we're working on a variety of new and innovative programs. Our Government and Heritage Library is transforming the North Carolina Encyclopedia, the most often viewed page at the Department of Cultural Resources website, and we thank the 950 of you who participated in our recent survey for choosing a new logo for the North Carolina Encyclopedia. I'm sorry my blueberries didn't win. But it turns out it really is a democracy. It's the cardinal and the dogwood, and the third one. Which one? The gray squirrel. Who eat blueberries, I'm sure, nonetheless. Anyway, the other thing I want to mention that we're doing is we've started doing on our website a monthly page that is appropriate to the month. You know, there are various months of the year that celebrate different things. This October is Family History Month. Well, family history is something we do at the State Library, and we do very, very well. So I recommend that you go and look on our website and look at all of these family history resources, because in addition to links and documents, there are even songs and a movie. It's really, really quite interesting. And I think the staff is having a lot of fun doing that too. Our digital information management program staff have created NC Mosaic, which is an extremely important digital repository of government-related information held by local, county, and state agencies, as well as public and private universities across North Carolina. There are also several other projects that DEMP is working on. Our Accessing State Government Information Program, which is funded by an LSTA grant, through which we created our Digital Information Management Program, has just created a project to digitize hundreds of census profiles compiled by the State Data Center in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Because pre-1980 censuses currently exist only on paper, the U.S. Census Bureau was very excited to hear about this project and are using it as a model that other states, they hope, will follow. Our Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped, which I've already mentioned, is working in conjunction with the National Library Service and has initiated a major transition from analog to digital programming for our Talking Books program. Over the next couple of years, all of our 12,000 subscribers will receive new digital equipment and new, much better, clearer, easy to use recordings on a what looks like a cassette because it's easy to handle, but is effectively just a flash drive or a thumb drive with more than one book on it if necessary. It's just wonderful after all these years to suddenly be making that transition into digital technology for even some of our citizens who depend on hearing books rather than reading them. Through our federal Library Services and Technology Act program, our library development section is also initiating a whole variety of new projects. One of them is to create a statewide shared public library catalog for North Carolina. We're just in the beginning stages of this, and we've recently held our first shared catalog working group meeting in Raleigh.